against human beings that were dying because of something as dirty and preventable and sad as drugs and as addiction. Just breaks my damn heart.
Yeah, so in the last 6 months, my life has dramatically improved. The truth is, there's never perfection in the recovery journey. My experience has been things are not all of a sudden all okay, but you become okay. So you learn to manage the things that are happening in your life. For example, like I was expecting the day I got sober, me and my wife would be perfect. And that just didn't happen, right? It took some time, and now that it's been 6 months, me and her are doing better than we've probably ever done.
You're listening to the one and only Ineffable.
Cool. So to start off, why don't you just tell us who you are and where we are right now?
So my name is Nathaniel Philippo. We're here in Victoria, BC, currently at the Mile Zero beach spot, right nearby to where we're going to be throwing our show on July 18th for Clear and Collected events, Recovery House, and So Much Fun Productions up at Finlayson Point Gazebo, right up on the cliff there.
Can you tell us a bit about your sort of personal addiction journey and how that kind of got started for you?
Yeah, so basically when I was a young teenager, kind of normal teenager stuff, I started smoking weed and drinking. And for years that was sort of, not really a problem, but probably was doing it a little bit too much. Then around the age of 17, I got invited to go to a rave in my hometown of Winnipeg, Manitoba. And for about a year, I was going to raves and just drinking and smoking a bit of weed and honestly having a really good time. And then one day at a music festival, I was drinking and I was offered some ecstasy by a friend, and I took that. And something about that set something off in me that I never knew existed before. And from that point on, my life slowly started to progress into worse and worse decisions with drugs. Within the first year of trying that ecstasy pill, I ended up getting into Oxycontin. And me and my friends were doing that for years, and pretty fast it became a daily habit. And I started DJing around that time too, so I was still managing to live a somewhat normal life while going through that, but in the shadows was doing a lot of hard drugs. I also played around with cocaine and just other drugs that were offered to me as time went on. However, after a few years of doing Oxycontin, it was taken off the market, and me and my friends ended up getting into fentanyl unknowingly. So yeah, me and a couple of my best friends, we were doing fentanyl every single day together. And then about a year after we were doing that, my best friend, his name was Type. I'm actually wearing his logo here on my shirt. He was the one that actually taught me how to DJ, and we were doing this stuff together all the time. And about a year after we were doing fentanyl, he overdosed and he died. So I thought that would have been enough to make me never do drugs again. And unfortunately, my fentanyl addiction took off after that. So I was doing fentanyl every day for about 4 or 5 years. I somehow miraculously never overdosed. I came very close many times. But yeah, eventually that stopped being a thing, but I continued to do Oxycontin for years. And then I got sober for a year, and then I went back, and it was sort of just this revolving door of getting some sobriety time, but never really being able to keep it. As time went on, I lost another 2 of my best friends to drug addiction. Another one was my other DJ friend, who's got the second logo here at the bottom, Oscillated Filth Facilitator. It was just a lot of pain and a lot of loss, not including those best friends. I've also lost about 10 other people I know to fentanyl addiction. So it's definitely been a bit of a rough ride. So along that journey, I really felt like I wanted to get sober first of all, and that I wanted to use my experiences to help other people, especially people in the rave scene, because I saw how that was the catalyst that introduced me to drugs in the first place, and so many of my friends, and seeing how it went from having fun at parties to being next to death for years and years and years.
So can you tell me about your sort of recovery journey? Like, how did you get sober? What was that process like for you?
Yeah, so basically a year and a half ago, I decided to go back to recovery meetings. I had been going to recovery meetings on and off for the last 15 years, but I could never stick to it. Finally, I hit such a point of desperation. It's a pretty vulnerable thing to share, I guess, but it basically got to the point where I was debating committing suicide because I didn't see another way out of it. My wife was about to leave me. I had to open up and tell my job what I was doing. Basically, everything came to a breaking point in my life, and I had to decide, was I ready to die or keep going further down, or was it time to change? So yeah, after a year of these recovery meetings and trying to dive deeper into my own personal faith journey, something clicked and it started to work, and I started to take it more seriously. And 6 months ago, I finally said enough and I stopped doing it. So actually the day of this event on July 18th is my 6-month sobriety. So I'm pretty excited about that because I had sworn if I ever did these events, I wouldn't do them unless I was 6 months sober. So definitely a huge achievement for me. Really, doing these events has been a major life goal for so long, and here we are 6 months later and now they're happening. And you know, I was actually ready to sell off all my DJ gear because I thought I couldn't be a part of the rave scene anymore. And seeing how having a clear, sober mind was able to show me a new way of doing things where I can still do the things I love, but do them in a positive and productive way. It's just totally changed my whole outlook on life and the possibilities I see for things. So yeah, life has dramatically improved, and yeah, I've made a lot of my friendships back. I've fixed a lot of the wrongs I've done. I'm financially better now. Everything is slowly coming together, and for the first time, even though things may not be exactly where I want them to be, I have a hope for the future. So that's been the biggest change for me, from hopeless to hopeful.
Can you tell us a bit about you know, what sober raving means to you and how you hope to like inspire other folks through what you're doing here?
Yeah, so to me, the whole idea of the Sober Rave is that we all love dance music. It goes beyond using drugs and just getting messed up while hearing people play stuff. I have had a deep love for this music, and I feel like most ravers do. And, you know, over the years, I've watched people overdose at music festivals and raves. I've seen a lot of shady activities, and I just feel like by removing the drugs, we remove all of those negative aspects and those things that can cause people's lives to actually go downhill, and we actually turn it into a positive thing. So bringing people together to dance and have community and enjoy good music and to share their talents, those are all positives. There's no reason to not have those things. So I feel like by cutting out the things that can have a negative effect on people's lives, we turn this into a great thing. So like another big thing with these events is we want them to be safe for all ages. So, you know, when there's a lot of the open drug use, that's not at every event, but at a lot of them, it's not a safe place for kids to go, and a lot of older people don't want to be around that either, right? And even some people that don't have a drug problem, they just don't want to be around it, right? So it's, I feel like we're opening up a way for everybody to enjoy this. Another big part of these events for me too is that we don't want to have any symbology or promoting any type of religions or politics. Myself, I am a person of faith, but I just don't believe in forcing that stuff on people, and I want everybody to feel welcome and like they can come out to these and it doesn't conflict with what they believe, and it's just purely about music and community and having a fun time. And finding out how we can all come together despite the differences we may have, and learning to love each other no matter what those differences are. So that's definitely what it means to me, and I just want to have a positive effect on people in our world here. And I'm hoping that we encourage people to live a healthy lifestyle, even if that goes beyond substance use. If it's taking care of your health with the way you eat or whatever it is, right? We really want to have more than just a dance party. We want it to be a healthy influence on people's entire lives, and something that people bring home with them once the party's over.
So can you tell us who you are and where we are?
My name is Billy McDonald, and we are at the lovely Mile Zero party spot in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada.
And can you tell me a bit about your sort of addiction and recovery journey?
It started, I was a pretty regular dude. I decided to quit drugs in my early 20s, and I got married and decided to be a man, human being man. Accelerated in middle management and dispatching tractor trailers and all sorts of fun stuff. And then I became a tradesman, and subsequently got divorced and met a lovely woman. And then everything just kind of went south from there. But it was like the greatest and worst relationship I've ever had.
So can you tell us a bit more about sort of, what you were kind of addicted to and how you sort of got into the process of recovery?
Well, I got addicted to partying and escapism. I was a bedroom DJ for close to 20 years, and then COVID hit, and I miraculously lived in a house that was slated for demolition. So I turned it into a venue, and we had a bunch of secret parties over COVID, and that's kind of the birth of my DJ career. The path from a bedroom to a nightclub, there's so many obstacles, so I just made my own nightclub. And I also had a construction company at the time. So with the COVID lockdown scenarios, my construction company just dwindled one employee at a time, one contract at a time. So I just started partying more. I had a lot of fun, met a lot of DJs, but then Halloween happened. I think they kicked 70 people out of my place at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got a $2,700 fine. So then the parties stopped happening, but all the drug dealers knew where they could go and hang out all weekend. So they'd just come over and feed us drugs, whatever we really wanted. And then we finally got evicted from that house. And then I bounced around couches for a bit. And finally my mom was like, "Do you want to go to rehab?" I was like, fuck yeah, I just thought I had to stop doing drugs. Because by that time it was like every Monday, it's like I can't do that weekend again. And then by the next weekend I was wash, rinse, repeat over and over and over. So I went to rehab and I spent 50 days in a treatment facility. When I got out, I knew Victoria was not a safe place for me. So I packed everything up in my Volkswagen van, paid off a $2,700 fine to get my license back. And I moved to Nelson for a couple years. Spent some time at an ashram. That relationship I was in, it left lasting scars. So trying to sort out what was post-traumatic stress disorder and what was sobriety, that was an interesting thing to navigate. And so I kind of flopped around for a couple years, but getting longer and longer stints of sobriety and being able to really experiment with liquor and have like 4 ciders and play with my turntables. But then afterwards, I was like dead behind the eyes for like a week. Like I enjoy my company. I'll be driving around and see some stupid sign and we laugh. It's a great time. I get none of that. It's just complete disconnection from source. So I just kind of learned that, yeah, alcohol is just not for me. I just enjoy myself as a sober person. And after doing all these steps, like 12 steps, meetings, rehab, ashrams, I was like, well, you're on this path, dude. Like, fucking shit or get off the pot. Like, just stop. Just stop doing all the things that are harming you. And that was almost 3 years ago. I moved back to Victoria, yeah, like September 2.5 years ago. And I went to my first recovery house party. I actually had tickets to go ski tour later that night. And I was like, oh, I'll just go check this out. I had low hopes for it. Seemed like an AA party, but I was like, yeah, fuck, whatever. I knew one of the DJs that was on the bill. And I went and I'm like, this is solid gold fun. Yeah, everyone's just all smiles. There's no drinks. It's just, yeah, just good, clean fun. And it was only supposed to be a one-off. I didn't even end up going to ski tour later that night. I got my cup filled early. I was like, oh, that's good. I don't need any more human interaction after this. And so I messaged the promoter. I was like, when's the next one? She's like, well, that was a one-off. It was a fundraiser. It's like, all right, okay, well, we're doing some more. So the next one was, I think, a couple months later. And then after that one, we got approached by the organizers of Otherworld. They're like, you want to come and hold sobriety meetings at our music festival? And when the universe asks you to go to a music festival, you don't say no to the universe. So then we threw a couple more fundraisers and then, yeah, ended up throwing recovery meetings at a music festival, which is the first music festival I'd ever been sober. I've been to 8 Shambhalas and a number of Base Coasts along with bush raves. I've been doing this quite a long time. And not like the drug that took me down was cocaine. But when I was going to music festivals all the time, you'd have like an acid day and a mushroom day. Like it was well structured and ordered and electrolytes and there was a science to it. Yeah, I don't think you can just do it willy-nilly. I couldn't anyhow. Just keep going and going and going.
So can you tell me sort of how life has gotten better for you with sobriety and how like sober raving has kind of affected that?
Well, I would say my greatest accomplishment in my sober journey is altering the way I speak with myself. Like if I spoke to anyone the way I used to speak to myself, I would have 0 friends. So now I can treat myself with more compassion. I know I'm trying my hardest because I've taken all these obstacles away. I'm almost 3 years sober and I haven't done anything fucking really stupid in 3 years. I think that's my longest stint since I was like 3. So I can just keep building the momentum that I can carry and just keep building upon. There's just nothing like it, really.
And how has sort of sober raving sort of supported the momentum that you've got built in your life now?
Well, I didn't discover that my gift is throwing parties until like 7 years ago. So I can really, I've been a contractor for 20 years, so I can walk into somebody's basement and I can envision it painted, done, baseboards everywhere, and it's just studs and sticks. The homeowners can't see it, but I can, okay, this needs to go here. I can do the same thing with a party spot. Where like, oh, okay, I need to set my speakers up here, those lights there, and it just, I can visualize the whole thing. So when it becomes party time, it's just execution. And having that sort of passion for a specific topic that is also sober, that keeps me sober. And it's almost like inconsequential. Like I don't like staying up late at night anymore. I don't like being around drunk people. I'm just throwing the party that I would like to go to, and it continually evolves as I evolve. I've been throwing more all ages parties. Those are so much fun. Like getting hoopers and they're like interacting with the kid, like little kids having like parents as DJs, playing child-esque house music. It's really, really fun. Having a mom go back to back with her daughter, and her telling me she's never seen her daughter work so hard at anything as hitting the decks and practicing. It's just, yeah, it's heartwarming in a whole different way. Like I'm an addict. If I could bottle these heartwarming, fuzzy feelings, I'd be a friggin' bajillionaire, dude. And just keep following those types of emotions, those sentiments. Because I know I'm not the only person having those things. Just creating memories. Maybe one day I'll get paid for it. But for now, I'm having a lot of fun.
So if you could please tell us who you are and where we are.
Sure, I'm Skye Phoenix and we are at mile 0.
And could you tell us a bit about your sort of addiction and recovery journey?
Yeah, so as a teenager, I was pretty lonely, isolated, shy. And at about 18, I started finding substances, mostly as a way to connect with people. Soft drugs, the slippery slope, sort of classic. At 19, I found heroin and went straight to the streets. I was on the streets for about 1.5 years and then went to treatment. I did not have any intention of staying clean, but I knew I couldn't be an IV drug user anymore. I started meeting people who did different drugs and started having real fun. So this was my introduction to the party scene. I could use a different drug every day as long as I could find a dance floor. So I found party drugs, and it was sort of the time where I would say drugs and alcohol really worked for me. I found connection, I found joy, I found dance floors. I figured out right away that I was an alcoholic, and so were my friends, but I told myself it was a phase that I was going through. I still managed to hold down a job and get a degree at university, but I was starting to try to change the way I was drinking and using, and I just found I couldn't. I wanted to get sober after a certain point, but I was also really torn between wanting this new life of sobriety and the career that I was about to start, and not wanting to stop dancing and not wanting to say goodbye to my friends. I also reached a point of just despondency or spiritual bankruptcy, and I decided to try 12-step programs. I'm very lucky because when I did, there was a group of young people in the 12-step programs that were throwing parties. And they really emphasized doing the work of recovery while carrying the message of fun in recovery. And so there was, a large group of us that went to nightclubs, kept dancing. One of us was a DJ. We threw house parties, we did potlucks, and we were really, really social. So although I had tried to avoid 12-step programs, it ended up being what worked for me to get sober. And in my recovery, I never had to stop dancing. I continued going to nightclubs, and what I had worried about was that life would end when I got sober. I was 28, and the truth was life was just beginning. I traveled the world, I got married, I had a career as a nurse, I had kids, I've become a DJ, and I ended up starting Recovery House. So I guess my message is life is really just beginning when we get sober.
That makes me crazy. That makes me crazy. That makes me crazy.
So can you tell us a bit more about Recovery House, sort of what it is and what its sort of mission is and what it means to you?
Sure. Yeah, Recovery House was started, it was supposed to be a one-time party. In the summer of 2023, a group of young people in a 12-step program wanted to start sort of a social activities group, and they needed some seed money. And so I knew a lot of people and I love dancing, so I said I would throw them a party and I would make some money for them. I called it Recovery House as a joke, one, because we're in recovery, and two, I love house music. The joke being many people have to go live in a recovery house after they leave treatment. So yeah, that first party was amazing, probably about 50 people. The dance floor packed the whole time. And as people left, they said, when are we doing the next one? Which it was supposed to be a one-time party. As Billy said, we threw the next party in February, and we've just kept going since then. Our first parties were fundraisers for something in recovery. Our second party was for Sitka recovery. We threw parties to raise money for Otherworld and our sober space at Otherworld. We've made money for Rewired recovery. What is important to me about Recovery House is creating a safe space for people to dance in their recovery. I personally have felt like I could go anywhere and do anything in recovery. I didn't need a specifically sober space, but I know that a lot of people do. And I wanted to create that. And I wanted to do what was done for me in my early recovery, which was promote fun in recovery. There's a lot of people who get sober through a 12-step program or through a different kind of fellowship or through treatment, and they want to know, why should I stay sober? And the reason why is because it's more fun.